Welcome back to the channel. Tonight's story is one that fans of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills never saw coming, and to be honest, neither did the cast, the crew, or even Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards themselves. A moment that started with whispers turned into a crisis. A marriage that looked unshakable suddenly revealed cracks that had been forming for years. And a family that built its brand on glamour, stability, and keeping things together for the cameras finally found itself confronting something that no amount of diamonds, designer clothes, or Bravo editing could soften. This is the story of Mauricio's health scare, Kyle's emotional unraveling, and the chain reaction that forced America's favorite reality TV couple to face the truth, publicly, painfully, and without warning. What actually happened? Why was it hidden for weeks? And what does this mean for the RHOBH family going forward? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is deeper, more personal, and more surprising than anything the show ever aired. Part 1: The Shift. It started with changes so small they were easy to brush off. Mauricio missing appointments, forgetting conversations, feeling exhausted after workouts he normally powered through. Kyle noticed it first, and according to people close to the family, she tried to wave it away as stress. After all, stress made sense. He was running the agency, filming Buying Beverly Hills, navigating a marriage already under a microscope, balancing the RHOBH spotlight, constant travel, and the non-stop pressure to perform. But then the little things became harder to ignore. Mauricio slowed down. He'd lose track of what he was saying mid-sentence. Some days, Kyle said he looked there, but not all the way there. And when cameras weren't rolling, when no glam squad was around, when there was no red carpet forcing them to smile, she saw a man who was not himself. Friends say the moment Kyle realized something was genuinely wrong was the night Mauricio came home from a business dinner looking pale, exhausted, and short-tempered, something totally unlike him. He brushed her off, told her not to worry, said he just needed rest. But Kyle couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper was going on. That's when she insisted he get checked. Part 2: The Tests. According to sources, the initial tests were supposed to be routine, just a precaution. But they weren't. Something in the results made the doctor call back, then refer him to a specialist, then order additional scans. For the first time in their marriage, Mauricio went quiet. Not out of anger, but fear. Kyle later described it to a friend as watching his confidence drain from his face. She had always known Mauricio as the strong one, the calm one, the anchor of the household. The man who could walk into any room, boardroom or Bravo reunion, and stay unshakable. To see him worried, to see him uncertain, to see him trying to protect her by pretending everything was fine. That was the moment Kyle broke. And she broke hard. Friends say she cried in her car outside the doctor's office. She cried at home in the bathroom so the girls wouldn't see. She cried with her sister on the phone. She cried to producers off camera. But in public, she held it together. Because that's who Kyle has always had to be. Part 3: The pre-recorded episodes. Just like the Kelly Ripa/Mark Consuelo situation, viewers started to notice something strange. Episodes filmed out of order. Scenes that felt patched together. Interviews reused. Storylines cut abruptly. RHOBH fans have seen plenty of editing tricks over the years, but this time, people sensed something was off. Kyle was missing from certain shoots. Mauricio wasn't present at events he normally attended, and when he did appear, he looked tired, distracted, not fully in the moment. Bravo production sources later explained that several episodes were filmed weeks earlier, not unusual in television, but the timing made fans suspicious. And they were right. The reason episodes were rearranged wasn't messy scheduling. It was because Kyle and Mauricio were dealing with a private health crisis that neither of them wanted to go public yet. Part 4. The Family RHOBH. The daughters noticed immediately. Farah tried to distract the family with humor, her usual role. Alexia stepped into problem-solver mode. Sophia shut down emotionally. And Portia, being the youngest, took it the hardest. Mauricio didn't want them to worry. He told them it was nothing. Just tests. Just stress. But kids know. Kids always know. Kyle tried to keep the household normal, but everything around her felt fragile. Dinner felt quiet. Conversations felt forced. Their home felt tense in ways she couldn't hide. Even their separation, something they had both been trying to handle maturely, was suddenly overshadowed by something bigger. Suddenly, it wasn't about divorce papers, or tabloids, or Instagram comments, or Morgan Wade rumors, or anything the show dramatized. It was about keeping their family whole. Part 5. The call. Then came the phone call that changed everything. According to insiders, Mauricio's doctor wanted him to come back in for more detailed testing. Something needed closer examination. That call crushed Kyle. People close to her say she locked herself in her bedroom and cried until her chest hurt. She wasn't crying for the marriage, or the cameras, or the drama. She was crying for the man she'd loved for decades, for the father of her children, for the person she still called family even if their relationship wasn't perfect. This was the moment that forced her to ask, "What if I lose him?" Part 6. The RHOBH. Thankfully, and this is important, the results did not show anything life-threatening. But they did reveal something serious enough that Mauricio needed treatment, monitoring, and lifestyle changes. A health scare. A wake-up call. A warning that his body needed rest, care, and attention he hadn't been giving himself. Mauricio reportedly broke down, not dramatically but quietly, when the doctor explained the next steps. He wasn't afraid for himself. He was afraid for his family. Afraid of how close he'd come to something worse. Afraid of what could have happened if he'd kept ignoring the signs. Afraid of what the stress of their marriage issues might have contributed. For the first time in months, Mauricio and Kyle sat together, really together, away from cameras, away from producers, away from their public image. And they talked. Not about divorce. Not about the show. Not about rumors. But about life. Their daughters. Their fears. Their mistakes. And their future, whatever it might look like. Part 7. The emotional breakdown. Fans saw a version of Kyle's breakdown on RHOBH, but the real one happened off-screen. She cried because she was scared. She cried because she was tired. She cried because she hated that the world was watching while her family fell apart. She cried because she still cared, more deeply than she ever admitted publicly. Mauricio later told a friend that Kyle's reaction meant more to him than anything else that happened that year. He said it reminded him that no matter how complicated things got, they were still a family. Not perfect. Not Instagram ready. Not the fairy tale Bravo loved to sell. But real. Part 8. Where they stand now. Today, Mauricio is stable. He's taking care of his health. He's slowing down in ways he never allowed himself before. Kyle remains emotionally raw, but also more grounded and open than fans have ever seen her. They are not back together, but they are closer, emotionally, than they were before the health scare. Sometimes it takes a crisis to remind two people of their foundation, and that's exactly what this did. Their daughters are more united. Their communication is stronger. And even if the marriage never fully returns, something else has. Their mutual respect. Their partnership. Their understanding of what truly matters. At the end of the day, reality TV can dramatize anything, but what happened between Mauricio and Kyle during this health scare? That wasn't scripted. That wasn't exaggerated. That wasn't for ratings. It was real life. Raw, vulnerable, and deeply human. RHOBH. So what happens next? Do they reconcile? Do they move on separately? Do they rebuild a new kind of family dynamic? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this was the turning point the cameras never fully captured. And the moment that changed everything for the Umansky family. If you want the next video, a deep dive into Mauricio's recovery, Kyle's emotional transformation, or exclusive insight into how Bravo handled the crisis behind the scenes, just tell me and I'll make it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one.